What's up, y'all? Kyle Hamilton here. I want to give a quick shout out to Lucas, Connor, and Ryan in the Week Zero podcast.
Jackson rolling out, 3rd and 7 after the penalty, and it's a completion to Kuma. He's still running. Kuma breaks free against a tire defense as the Hokies deliver the dagger here in Tallahassee. Empty look for Richardson. Oh, that is danger! Oh my! Keidron Smith cuts inside, and he's gonna pick six it in the swamp. Cat scratch fever Smith.
DJ is picked off, intercepted again by Benjamin Morrison. Here goes Morrison down the sideline. Can he go? Yes, he can. Touchdown, pick six, Benjamin Morrison. Nix drops back underneath. Touchdown, Ducks. Wow. Chase Taylor.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of The Gold Standard. We are back after another 2-week hiatus because needed a break. Stanford, that's when you take your break because, that game was a blowout. But anyway, Sean, how you been, man?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Good. I'm working through it.
I gotta say something.
Go ahead.
I gotta say something. I don't know if you've heard the rumor. I've heard it from a few people. I don't like it one bit, and Ryan, you're not going to be happy. But there is a rumor, and I've seen a lot of people say that they're not going to be happy with who enters the portal, but I've heard a big rumor that Benjamin Morrison could enter the transfer portal.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe it's money. I don't know. But I've heard a lot of people mention Benjamin Morrison. I think it's more likely Rico Flores. But if Flores does stay, like Singer and, all of them are saying down there at On 3, I've seen a few people already know someone's entering the portal that we're not going to like. And I've heard a few people mention Benjamin Morrison as maybe who it could be.
I don't see it. I think because my thing is if it was money, I think Notre Dame,
what if
legal terms would match.
What if that were to happen?
I'll be honest, I'd rather have Rico Flores leave than Ben Morrison. If that
I wouldn't want anybody before Benjamin Morrison to leave. He'd be the one person that I would want to keep. That's Notre Dame. He's got 1 year left before being a top 10 pick. He's gonna make his money. If
anyone in the DB room would leave, I think it'd be Jaden Mickey.
If Benjamin Morrison were to leave, let's just say, and enter the transfer portal, I think a lot of Notre Dame fans are going to start wondering, is Notre Dame in it when it comes to the transfer portal world? If we lose our best player to the portal, there's going to be worry that we might never be able to get where we want to go.
I'm not as worried about that. My concern is on the offensive side of the ball. Why is everybody leaving?
Well, it's really only the wide receivers, right?
Yeah.
And you understand Chris Tyree as much as I don't want him to leave.
I didn't get Chris Tyree. Was Chris Tyree I get it, but I don't get it at the same time.
I mean, our starting slots are going to be Greathouse and Faison next year.
I know, but he was going to be our starter next year.
I understand, especially. There could have been something that happened with Stuckey. I heard he might not have.
Well, yeah, Stuckey. I heard him and Stuckey didn't have the best relationship, but then we fired Stuckey. So then why not come back?
Maybe there's a chance he could, but I don't understand James, but I kind of do. You have a big freshman class coming in, and then you weren't playing over the other freshmen. I get it, but he had so much potential. We needed him to stay. Tobias has looked terrible, but his potential's through the roof. We are going to struggle tremendously with outside wide receivers, losing two big ones, and we only have Thomas and Colsey, who might be a little unproven. That's shit. That's it.
Well, I think Cam Williams, if we didn't have a guy the caliber of Cam Williams coming in, I think it would hurt way more. But
Yes,
we have
but
talked
that's
about.
one player. What about an injury? I mean, we need depth.
All you need is one player. Look at Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah, but what if Cam Williams were to get hurt? And what if he doesn't pan out like we want him to? What if he's a Jordan Johnson 2.0? He won't be. But what if? We need depth. Like, what if there's injuries? Even if he's healthy, what about on the other side? What if Colsey gets hurt or Thomas?
Yeah.
We need depth. And I think we need to get 2 to 3 wide receivers in the transfer portal.
So before we get into everything, I kind of want to, because we're kind of a little all over the place here, but I want to start off first with talking about one of the biggest things that happened this weekend or this week, and Chancey Stuckey being fired. First of all, John, what were your thoughts on this move by Freeman? Do you think? What do you think's going on? Because I didn't really see this coming. I thought, if anything, Stuckey would leave for another job.
I mean, I understand it. I thought he would stay, but apparently there's something going on. I don't know what it is. There wouldn't be yes, of course you could say, oh, they left after he did, but that room was not looking good. They didn't look confident all year. They struggled. He gets fired, and receivers are leaving.
Yeah.
That's really the only room that's leaving and struggling, right? There's, of course, people who we expected. Corral with Ashton Craig, I wouldn't say expected, but are you surprised? Ramon Henderson, right? Nanaf, right? Asafu Mensah. These wide receivers, though, you kind of could guess Merriweather, how he played, could leave. Tyree, I get, but I didn't expect. And then who would have thought Braylon James? Like, this room is just getting depleted. And if Rico Flores leaves, oh my God. Like, I think.
Why do you think it is? Because I've heard it was Freeman. It was a culmination of things leading up to this, but I also heard Marcus Freeman wanted Stuckey back when he said that in the press conference on Monday. But then a couple hours after that, something happened to where he got fired.
Yeah, he must have sat with his players. I heard it was a culture thing. I've also heard that maybe something with loving hard, and he was a little too hard. I don't know, but it's not a coincidence that the wide receiver struggled. He gets fired, and all of them.
Yeah, Prime was telling me, Notre Dame Prime over on Twitter, he was telling me that Stuckey's players told him, not naming names, but players told him that Stuckey flat out did not know how to coach. And it drove the receiver room through the wall. Which then begs the case, what if he's fired now and you're one of those receivers? Why don't you stay?
He just tweeted out that there's going to be a big name. Notre Dame fans are not going to be happy about the transfer portal. And I said, obviously, I hope it's not Flores. I said, I hope it's not anything big. And he told me, let me pull it up. He didn't tell me a name, but he told me, you're in for a treat.
I hope to God it's not. You mentioned that. I'll lose it.
If we lose Benjamin Morrison, but I don't think we do. There's no reason. No reason.
He's our number one corner next year.
It's not like we're NC State and he can go to Alabama. We're fucking Notre Dame. We're fucking Notre Dame. He wouldn't have came here if he didn't know that.
Yeah. My thing is also, but why do you think these receivers are leaving?
Yeah. Sorry.
If the problem was Stuckey and Stuckey's gone.
Probably because, like I said, Tyree, it made sense. That's probably the reason why. But maybe they were just already had that decision in the back of their head. And when Stuckey left, they could have been like, oh, I could stay. But they were already kind of decided that. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I
wonder if that's why Tobias wasn't very
confident
playing very well, because he knew in the back of his mind he was transferring.
Yeah, I think we all kind of knew Tobias would be transferring.
I almost wonder, because
But why, if Stuckey was fired and people were saying like, "Oh, he didn't know how to coach," why were some of the players like mad when he was fired, tweeting "man," all that stuff?
Well, I know that there was a report that 2 players on the team in the receiver room really liked Stuckey. The other ones didn't. And I'm gonna assume, based off of social media activity, that those 2 players were Rico Flores and Braylon James. Braylon, I don't really understand because
I don't either. He was in line to probably be a starter in a year or so.
But I mean, he'll probably go back to Texas. I know Texas was a big thing for him, but at least somebody made a great point. We could go into the bowl game with only 1 scholarship receiver. Think about that.
Thomas would play. He's not.
Oh no, never mind. 2. So you got Thomas and then Greathouse.
Yeah, and then you would have Faison. Faison's a scholarship.
I forget he's a. But is that receiving core, does that, you have no depth behind that?
I mean, it sucks because I looked at the receiver charts and it looked like.
Is Colsey done for the year?
Yes.
Okay. I was wondering,
which I'm glad he's coming back. I like Colsey. I do. Before his injury. And I think that he could do very well. I keep checking to see if they're. Oh. Hold on. Hopefully there's some news that doesn't drop tonight. I'm checking. That's why I keep leaving, because I want to see. That same account that tweeted that James and Merriweather tweeted just now that the same source that told them about those 2 transferring is the same one that told them about Flores transferring. So that's what I want to read to inform you guys.
By the way, Prime told me it's not Ben Morrison. I just asked.
Good. We're good.
So we're good. Probably Rico Flores.
Probably is. And which makes no sense because he was 2 things with Braylon James. Like Braylon James was how much support he was getting for his music, how Notre Dame was using his music. That was an avenue for him. And then for Flores, let me get out of the area I'm in. Notre Dame's amazing. I'm getting out of this area. I can get a degree. And then if you leave and go to like NC State or something like that, like why? Like you really wanted to leave your area that was a rough neighborhood, and then you want to go to. I hope he doesn't go to a place like Florida, LSU, where it's not as cultured.
With Rico, I don't understand it because he was our wide receiver 1 a lot down the stretch.
If he plays in the bowl game, he could be our number 1 receiver this year in stats. He's not far behind in yards.
I almost wonder because I know Riley Leonard, which will be the next thing we'll get into. Riley Leonard actually followed Rico Flores and Braylon James yesterday. And don't ask me how I know. I keep hitting the refresh button on his followers, and it goes by the most recent.
So you wrote stalking
yes.
Riley Leonard.
And from everything I've heard, it sounds like he was trying to, basically get talk to Braylon and Rico and get them to stay. So I like that, but that also means that he's known he's coming to Notre Dame for a long time. But I like that Riley Leonard is doing that. I don't know if it's going to work out.
Is there a chance you think any of these guys return?
I after what you said, Primes, I don't know if Rico comes back. Which I'll be on. Let me ask you this, because we'll get into now. We're not talking about Chance Stuckey anymore, but
which I kind of still want to.
Well, we can. With the 2023 receiver class of Greathouse, Caleb KK Smith, Which actually he's a KK. He's a scholarship receiver too. You've got with the 2023 class and 2024 receiver class. Which one do you think is better?
I mean, it depends on if we lose. For the college football world is turning into the transfer portal and keeping your guys matters more than recruiting now, it feels like.
Yeah.
In terms of talent, I would probably go with Cam Williams is the best of the bunch, but overall the 23 class is better in terms of all of them.
I think Micah Gilbert and Braylon James are kind of similar.
Yes, but I think that
I do like Logan. Logan Zeldate is.
Of course you do. That's your favorite recruit. But I think that, and he's locked in with Notre Dame, obviously, and Cam Williams is too. Cam Williams is the best, but Flores and
Micah.
duo.
Micah texted Mike Singer and said he's last night during the live show and said he's locked in. So we're good.
They're a month before signing day. If they were to open it up, they wouldn't know where they're going. Like it is, it's going to be great because we'll have Cam Williams probably start getting thrown in. But man, what if I don't know,
what if Jaden Thomas transfers?
That would be a big deal. That would be a big deal. And we would be in trouble.
I guess you could throw Jeremiah Love out there at receiver. I know we talked about when we were recruiting him.
He's going to be our starting running back next year. I think you can consider switching. I saw this on a board today, and I really like the idea of Tay Johnson.
To receiver?
I think Tay Johnson's a better receiver than he is safety. So,
well, who you got at safety now? If Xavier Watts leaves, Henderson's gone.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think Henderson would. There's no reason for him to leave if he's starting next year.
Also, DJ Brown, is he coming back?
No. So that's my point. Why would Henderson leave if he isn't starting? That probably means that Xavier Watts is coming back next year.
I know you had you may have been you or somebody sent a draft stock of the running backs. And Audric Estime is not he's not listed as a top 6 running back in the most recent mock draft. In this draft,
I'm hanging on to hope.
So my thought is and I saw Notre Dame fans upset about that, but my thought is low key for Audric, yeah, that sucks, but if that gets him to come back, I'd be happy with that.
But I think he should go. I mean, even if he's a 4th, 5th round pick, someone's getting a steal, and he's going to make an impact. Kyron Williams making an impact already. If you're good, you're good, right? And he's a big boy who's going to get some carries. Freeman's players are coming in, and guess what? Freeman's players are leaving, right? I mean, Braylon.
And you know what? I got to delete my post because I made a post a couple of days ago when the portal first opened. And I said, and I did the emoji, and I was like, just some food for thought. Every transfer portal entry the last 2 years has been Brian Kelly recruits. And I was like, maybe, just maybe, Marcus Freeman didn't take over the loaded roster that we all thought. And
I have confidence in him still, but we need to hang on to these wide receivers. If we lose Flores too, here's the thing. Yeah, we can get some receivers in the transfer portal, but getting 2 to 3 grad transfers, we need people to be developed. So I'm very intrigued to see who are. I mean, what do you think happened with Stuckey? Something had to have happened. Something. What do you think?
I think it like you had said, Freeman talked to his players. His players let him know that either they didn't like Stuckey, how he, coached, whatever that might be.
Yeah.
Now, this is for people watching on Twitter, because we got quite a few people on Twitter watching. This is just speculation. I'm not saying this is true. I'm not saying Stuckey's a bad person or anything like that, but it's something happened within a few hour period.
And if you're watching on Twitter, ask questions. But I mean, I agree. Something had to have happened. to get him fired. It's not like, I mean, the performance on the field, probably finding out why the performance on the field could have been that, and that's why they let him go and felt like somebody. I mean, I do think we need a new wide receiver coach. I don't think Parker has anything to do with it. Some of the players I've heard rally around Parker still. So
I still don't think Parker should have a job. But
I mean, that's your opinion, and probably all of our opinions, including mine. I mean, I wouldn't say not a job, but probably not a job in Notre Dame. But I mean, if Freeman wants him back like he did Al Golden came back and did good, maybe with a quarterback.
Which is so odd to me because, like, the few Jared Parker defenders in our fan base are. Well, look at our stats. We had more.
There's more than stats.
We had more yards per game. We had more points per game than Ohio State. Blah blah blah. Like team A, B, and C, and I'm like, okay,
yeah,
like
I agree, but it's going to come down to Parker's coming back, whether we like it or not. So I don't think that should be a thing to talk about. He's coming back, so
this is
I think
the Golden Playbook said he thought it was a great move to move off of Stuckey. But if Freeman can fire him, he should fire Parker.
I mean, I think that he's feeling that how Parker's used to play action more, maybe he can develop better. So we'll see how he does. I don't know what Freeman thinks. If Freeman wants him back, we just got to trust him, right? Whether we like it or not. And he'll probably suck again next year. But, I mean, why not have a little faith? But Stuckey, there's a reason. He was let go. And, I mean, make no mistake, if players don't have confidence and we struggle at wide receiver this year, our wide receiver coach gets fired after he says he wants everyone back and then 3 or 4 wide receivers into the transfer portal, more than any other position, something happened. It's not just, oh, my God, what are the odds that it's not a coincidence that all these wide receivers are entering the portal. He got fired and they sucked this year. It's not. Something happened.
All right,
but I agree with you.
Yeah, let's get into our next topic. Riley Leonard to Notre Dame. I know you and me had talked about this all the way back in October when we played Duke. And it was like everyone got the sense Riley Leonard's going to Notre Dame. I don't know why, but that thought ever since we played him, I just had a weird feeling that Riley Leonard was somehow going to end up at Notre Dame. Even when people were like, why would he transfer? He's supposed to be a high draft pick. And I'm like, because he plays at Duke, he's going to want to go to a program that's not Duke and get more eyes on him. And here we are. It seems like it's everything but a done deal at this point. First thoughts, Sean. I know, we had talked about this, and I know you didn't really want Riley Leonard, but what are your thoughts on that Duke quarterback coming to play at Notre Dame?
I will say that I have never seen a confidence pick on 24/7 Sports or any recruiting site be a 10 out of 10, 100%. Lock.
I've never seen that either.
So he must, right? That's even if it's 7 or 8, they're going to go to Notre Dame. So seeing a 10 out of 10, I was like, whoa. Right. So it's going to happen. I would say I'm a little concerned about Auburn being from Alabama. His girlfriend goes to Alabama.
Hey, Sam Hartman left his girlfriend at Wake Forest.
Yes, he did. And it doesn't mean Riley Leonard couldn't, but it's not a factor. I don't want to say it's not a factor. A&M, Elko, he didn't recruit him, but that could be a factor too. I don't think so. I think he's going to go to Notre Dame. I like the move. I think he fits our offense well. People said, he only had 3 touchdowns passes. The year before, he had 20 to 27, right? He can pass.
He's also injured half this year.
Yeah, and I mean he's a winner. He would have beaten Florida State if he was healthy with a Duke team. Imagine what we can do with Notre Dame. And I think he opens up our run game and does what Parker wants. I think Parker wants to run the ball, so now he can decide to do read options, handoffs, etc., which opens up the passing game.
That RPO game with Riley Leonard
would be elite if they use it.
If they had not even Joe Jeremiah Love, but can you imagine if Audric came back? And you have an RPO game of Audric Estime and Riley Leonard?
Yeah, I mean, I think that would be elite. And I think even if we had Price and Jeremiah Love, it would be great.
I just remember watching Riley against Clemson that first game of the season. And he had that run where he just absolutely trucked the Clemson defender. And I'll say this, he's not as fast as like what, you'd think, but he's got wheels. Like
He's a Daniel Jones 2.0.
yeah.
That's what he is. Whether
When he
you like it
runs,
or not.
he doesn't
Daniel
look
Jones
fast.
is ass.
Like,
Daniel Jones was not bad in college. They're very similar. They can throw and he's slow but can move, right? So Riley Leonard is a Daniel Jones, and it's funny they both went to Duke. So that's a great comparison is Daniel Jones.
Well, Mike
right?
Elko even said he reminded him a lot of Daniel Jones. So he just doesn't have the fumbling issues that Daniel Jones had. Has. But no, like, how do you feel about this in terms of, because Goolsby and Hyde were talking about this for an hour last night, and it got pretty heated, but, this will be third year out of the last 4 where Notre Dame has went to the portal for a 1-year rental. And Goolsby was saying, like, teams are going to now go after kids when in terms of quarterbacks and be like, hey, why would you want to go to Notre Dame? They don't develop their quarterbacks there. They don't play their own.
I agree.
They
That's
go
my
get
argument.
quarterbacks.
That's why I want to develop a guy, right? But at the same time, the only quarterback I would want from the transfer portal is Riley Leonard. So if we get him, I'm not going to be mad. We're going to get one anyway.
You wouldn't want DJU?
No.
Michael Pratt?
No, I want Riley Leonard. If it's anyone other than Riley Leonard, I would not want him. But
See, I
we're gonna have
love
to take
DJU at Notre Dame because he balls out at Notre Dame Stadium.
But here's this though, like it's not like this person's guaranteed to start, right? They got to keep it an open competition. They probably will start, and then Angeli would leave. But then think about this: Carr would come in as a freshman redshirt or a sophomore. You would have Deuce Knight and maybe Kenny Menchie as our quarterbacks the year after. That would be elite, and I think that's kind of what Freeman wants. He wants to have the quarterback room 4.
Do you think Angeli's gone?
No, I think they battle, but if he loses the job next year to Leonard, I think he's gone.
Well, I've seen people say Angeli won't transfer because he wants to get the Notre Dame degree before he leaves. So
he should have it by then. He's a junior this year, technically.
Yeah, that's true.
So next year he'd be a senior and he'd get it, and then he'd have another year or 2 of eligibility. But we're starting to get out of the COVID years, which is nice.
Yes.
I like Riley Leonard. I would think he'd be great at Notre Dame. Great. It would make me more confident going into A&M.
Do you think he would capture the fan base like Sam Hartman?
I wouldn't say to the exact same degree because Sam Hartman is a good-looking man. All right. So, but I think people would be fascinated with Riley Leonard, and I think if we were to get him, people instead of saying Steve Angeli would be saying Riley Leonard, right? So,
what's funny? People were retweeting his mom's tweet back from when Notre Dame played Duke, and she put a tweet out there that said "ND sucks," and people were like, "We should have known back then that he was going to be at Notre Dame."
Oh, because the sucks.
Yeah.
Bro, that's been crazy.
How long do you think this has been a done deal for? Because we can laugh about it. Tampering is a thing in college football now, but how long do you think? Because I think this has been a done deal since Sam Hartman went up to Riley Leonard in the injury tent.
I mean, you could argue that. I don't know. I'm not going to speculate anything. I don't think it's been a done deal since then. I don't think there was really any tampering. I think that if he closed and he closed saying, I have schools in mind, he knew the schools he wanted and he closed and is reaching out to those schools. So
I think Sam Hartman went in that injury tent and dropped a bag. That's what I think happened. Yeah.
We'd love to see it. But, I mean, hey, if you flip Sam Hartman to Duke and Riley Leonard to Notre Dame, how does that game work out?
Notre Dame wins, probably.
Notre Dame won anyway, but would it be a bigger win?
I think a bigger win, yeah. Sam wasn't very good that game until that 4th and 18.
That run was But I mean, I love Riley Leonard. I think it would be great to get him. Obviously, he's following all these Notre Dame players. It's gonna happen. We're gonna get Riley Leonard. If we don't, I'd be shocked, but wouldn't be surprised if he went to Auburn. People weren't talking.
And
about
it's not just him following Notre Dame players. The fact that he's following transfer targets that are Notre Dame's biggest transfer targets right now. Like, you don't think he's recruiting those guys? He's like, hey, I'm going to Notre Dame. Why don't you come with me?
I mean, you'd love to see it. This is going to be interesting how the portal is going to work out, right? Notre Dame's losing a lot of wide receivers in depth. They're going to get an offensive tackle. They're going to get a quarterback. They need to get 2 to 3 wide receivers. And then they need to get maybe a defensive end defensive lineman or linebacker. I agree, but Freeman is going to get a transfer anyway. And I saw something like why would you want to go after the worst just to guarantee that person the job, get the best anyway if we're getting one, right? We never know. We'll find out. I mean, people said Bo Nix was an ass in Auburn. Yeah, there we go. I can't believe you did that right when I said that. Bo Nix struggled at Auburn and is great at Oregon. Maybe Riley Leonard can do the same. Joe Burrow was ass his first year at LSU. No one talks about. He had like a 10 touchdown to 10 interception ratio. Like, he was ass. And then Joe Brady comes along and he's a beast, right? So you never know. Hopefully something good.
Michael Penix. He was good one year at Indiana and then sucked the next 2 and then transferred to Washington, and now he's
a star.
Yeah.
Right? You never know. So I'm hoping – I want Notre Dame to relax on the grad transfer or freshman thing, but it's probably not going to happen. It's Notre Dame.
What do you think early – I know this is early, but early – like, what do you think our record would have been this year if we had Riley Leonard at quarterback? Because I've seen people say 11-1 because of his running and stuff like that.
I'd say 10-2, 9-3. I think Sam Hartman's good. I don't know. I think next year our schedule could get – our record could get better with him compared to –
If he stays healthy. If he stays healthy. That's the thing.
We have Steve Angeli, right?
Yeah.
So, what do you feel about this?
I like Riley Leonard, but I was more of I was one of the few in our fan base that was like, don't go get a transfer. Start CJ Carr, Kenny Minchie, because next year's schedule is easy. Give them experience, and then you're set.
I agree. He was good luck for Riley Leonard, guys.
The puppers.
The puppers.
I wish my dog was as calm as that.
Your dog would probably go crazy.
Oh, that whole set would be knocked over. Everything would be on the floor.
Your cat would be meow.
Yeah. All right, let's go in to get some of these transfer targets that have been named so far. One of the biggest ones I've heard, and I believe he got crystal balled to Notre Dame.
Really?
Already, yeah. Pull this up. Is defensive end Jafari Harvey. He's from Miami. He was a very highly sought after recruit back in the day in 2019. He has 1 year of eligibility left. He's basically Javonte Jean-Baptiste.
So he's an end?
Role. Yeah, he's an end. He plays that kind of viper position that Baptiste did. But yeah, so he's been crystal balled to Notre Dame.
By who?
247, I believe.
Can you pull up the crystal ball for me to see?
I don't actually. Hold on, let me pull that up real quick. But
and let's not act like this. I do want to say this. Let's not act like this transfer portal stuff isn't happening everywhere, right? It's just the new college football, right? It's happening everywhere.
It's not on there for some reason, but there was something posted about it. Maybe it was Rivals. I'm not sure. It might have been Rivals, actually.
Yeah.
But anyway, he had a prediction put in for him from somewhere. It was either Rivals or somewhere, but
Yeah, I mean, I like him. I think we need a defensive lineman for depth. We're getting numbers anyway. It's just the new college football. I think he'd be a great addition to Notre Dame. So I don't know much about him besides his recruiting.
he was a very highly touted recruit.
Yeah, that's what
for Miami, but
I didn't really watch. I don't know.
he,
his stats.
according to Miami fans that I've talked to, he's got all the talent in the world, but it never came to fruition at Miami. So that's kind of where he's at. But he's kind of like that Javonte Jean-Baptiste, where he kind of got caught in a room with a bunch of other talented defensive ends, and he just never kind of lived up to that potential. I think he can kind of fill that Javonte Jean-Baptiste role this year. But yeah, I've watched some of his tape. He's very quick off the edge, very aggressive. So I think that would be a solid get.
Yeah, I mean, I think so too. Are there any other targets?
Yep. And the next two are receivers, obviously. The biggest one being, let me pull that up. Cousin of Jeremy Maclin, former Eagles receiver. Jamori Maclin, he was a 1,000-yard receiver at North Texas this past year. Right now, Future Cast, for whatever reason, has Michigan State, Cincinnati as the leaders for him. But Notre Dame has been in contact, and I think this would be a huge get. He was originally committed to Missouri, transferred to North Texas, so this will be his third school. And he's from Illinois, so he's an Illinois kid.
And he's grad
transfer, yeah.
Okay. I like that, and he looks like an outside receiver, so that's what I want. So
yeah, I mean he's a boundary guy. He's a boundary guy.
Yeah, and we need somebody like that. And I just want numbers at this point. They don't even have to be like the best of the best. I just want a room full of numbers and people who.
So he was injured, so he didn't play the final 2 games of the regular season, but finished with 1,000 yards, 11 touchdowns.
I mean, he's in a point where he can transfer from North Texas to a good school. Do it. I like it. I think that'd be a great get from Notre Dame. I wouldn't be surprised if he went back to Missouri. But Michigan State and Cincinnati, we should be able to
get him over those 2 schools for sure.
Yeah. Well, we need a wide receiver coach soon.
Hey, and you know what? Notre Dame's getting a bunch of these NFL players that are NFL players, like related people. So, I mean, why not add Jeremy Maclin's cousin to the mix?
Hold on. Who's the next guy?
All right, and then the final guy we got so far, because there's not been too much yet, is another receiver from FIU, Chris Mitchell. He's one of the top targets in the transfer portal. Another 1,000-yard receiver from the Panthers on a team that doesn't throw the ball very much. Had 1,000 yards. So if that tells you something, that tells you something.
Yeah.
But he's been at FIU for a while now. So he's a grad transfer, and Notre Dame's going after him heavy. Riley Leonard also followed him on Twitter yesterday, on Instagram.
Has anyone said him of being a target?
Yeah. So I think if we could get him and Jamori Maclin, I think that would be 2 solid pickups.
Yeah, I still want 3. 2 to 3. I'd be happy with 2, but if Rico Flores leaves 2, give me 3. If he stays, 2.
But I mean, the fact that at FIU in an offense where you don't throw the ball very much, 1,000 yards, that's impressive.
Yeah. Oh my God. Sign me up. Give me that FIU boy.
But yeah, so that's it for the transfer portal targets. So far. But yeah, any other thoughts on Transfer portal so far now?
Well, let me look and see if there's any updates. I like to do that. Maybe we can get a live break update while we're here. Well, nope, no news yet. So hopefully nothing arises tonight with the transfer portal. We've already had enough bad news for Notre Dame. When can players start committing to schools?
Anytime. Max Johnson already committed to North Carolina.
I saw that, but I thought, why is Monday a thing? I heard like Monday.
Oh, that's when all the undergrads can enter.
Okay.
Because the undergrad portal is not even open yet.
So
that's why Braylon entered. Like, said he's announced it, but he can't enter until Monday.
Okay. Got it.
So, like, even if, like, Raymond Cottrell, the freshman receiver from Texas A&M that we talked about, Notre Dame and talked to, he's technically in the port. Like, he's announced he's in the portal, but he's not in the portal yet.
I don't get it. Like, I mean, I get it. You want to play, but, like, why not be developed, Braylon James? You're a freshman. You really expected to play right away?
We got a new viewer. Did I miss you guys talk about the firing of Stuckey and keeping Jared Parker? You did.
But we can talk about it for a minute. We mentioned that something had to have happened with Stuckey, and a lot of people are mad about Parker, including us. But, I mean, if Freeman trusts him once I'm back and has like a Al Golden 2.0 year, maybe for him to have a better year, why not? I am in agreeing with firing Stuckey. I don't like the backlash right now, but it's no coincidence that all these people are leaving, fired, stuck this year. There's not coincidence. Something had to have happened. So, it's going to be very interesting to see how everything transpires. Who's going to be our next wide receivers coach? Do you have anything on that, Ryan?
No. Well, let's talk about this because I know it's been floating around. Brian Hartline is not coming to Notre Dame. Sorry. There was a flight that was some people have been watching that's supposed to happen this week from Columbus, Ohio, and it's private flight from Columbus, Ohio to South Bend. So I don't.
It would be crazy if he became our offensive coordinator. It wouldn't happen.
It's not going to happen. But I mean, it'd be crazy.
I would love to see it. No,
but I've seen people say, why would he do such a lateral move? Like,
it's not like Tommy Rees going from Notre Dame to Bama. Let's be honest here. He would go worse from Ohio State to Notre Dame.
Yeah. And my boy Phil over at Maze Mountain. Why fire Stuckey but keep Parker? Shaking my head.
There's got to be a reason.
But hey, Sean, we want to keep everybody.
Maybe he found out something. I don't know. We're not in his head. We can't judge a situation without knowing the situation fully. So, of course, I'm like, why after he said that? But something had to have happened, and I'm not going to hold it against Marcus Freeman.
What about, I saw.
Give me a thumbs up. Yeah. Hey, keep them coming. Keep them coming. I like it.
What about, did you hear that Al Golden is likely to come back?
Yep.
Notre Dame giving him a pay raise. I like that.
We like to hear. We like to see. Our defense should be good next year. So let's hope we keep.
Oh, can you imagine how much, they were great this year, but even how much better they're going to be in the third year in that system?
I mean, I think they're going to get a little worse next year.
Really?
I think our defensive backs stay the same. Our defensive line is going to be a little decent too. And then, I think our line, how could you expect our linebackers to do better than 3 graduate students?
I think Drac Bowen, Jalen Sneed, and
but they're going to be a little raw because they're just starting their careers.
Yeah. I think Jack Kaiser comes back because he's got that in that last year. Why not?
I'd love to see it.
He can take over that rover.
Do you think anyone comes back? Since we're talking about all the bad news, who do you think comes back? I think
Kaiser comes back. I think
coming back. It's going to happen.
Kaiser's definitely coming back. I could see Riley Mills coming back for the last year. Gabriel Rubio for sure.
It feels like these people are still freshmen, sophomores. It's crazy to talk.
Yeah. God, who even has like a 60
You
year?
feel Estime comes back?
Yeah. I think Estime is kind of like a 60-40. 60 he goes, 40 he comes back.
I'd love for him to come back to win a Doak Walker.
But when he said I'll always be Irish, I kind of felt like he's leaving.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's leaving. Mitchell Evans is probably going to. Do you think Holden Stays is going to go in the portal?
No, he's gone. He's gone.
Why?
I have inside information. He's gone. Yeah.
Okay, but you can tell me that he's gone.
Yeah, he's gone. He's gone. He's completely gone.
But why would he be gone? I mean, I agree because I've heard some rumors about it, and I've read things too and heard things. But why?
No. My inside source is somebody at Notre Dame that knows that he's gone.
That's fine.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like he's completely like done.
Why? Why do you think? Like not why, but like.
Well, I don't know what it is. It could be I think it's probably something with the coaching. Because
I mean, he's played a lot. He looked better this year. He started to get really good.
He retweeted Logan Diggs's tweet a couple hours ago where he said, "I'll never forget, never." And it was like the 100, and then people are like, "What are you talking about?" It's like, "Oh, how Notre Dame did me dirty."
Logan Diggs said that?
Yeah.
How Notre Dame did me dirty?
Yeah.
No, he didn't say that.
He said, well, not those words. He said how Notre Dame played me. And people are like, what do you mean? And they're like, LSU fans were like, yeah, they treated you bad. Like when we play them in the bowl game.
You have like a 600-700 yard year as a freshman and sophomore playing with like Kyron Williams.
I didn't realize Logan Diggs left on a bad note either. I didn't realize that. I thought it was all good. He just was homesick and he wanted to go to LSU.
That's what I thought. But Holden Stays, like, I mean, he's got potential to play a lot next year. I mean, yes, Eli Rare.
But, I mean, the fact that Holden Stays retweeted Logan Diggs' tweet, like, I'm wondering if Holden Stays had issues with the coaching staff.
Evans will come back, and then what is Raridan going to be the backup?
I think Raridan's better than Stays anyway. Have you seen Raridan play the last couple of weeks?
Yes, it doesn't matter, though. Because, yes, he's better, but depth, man. I'm telling you, because what if Evans goes down again? Then we're down to Raridan and Cooper Flanagan.
Flanagan's good, man. He can play.
He is, but then we're getting thin there. We need experience.
Hey, and then you got what's his name? Flanagan, the other Flanagan coming in.
Yep, I'm James Flanagan.
Yep.
Dante Moore in the transfer portal.
What if he wants to come to Notre Dame?
That would be insane. Probably going to like an Oregon or something.
No, actually, right now it's rumored that Michigan State is the preferred landing spot.
Which would be funny. Back to Michigan State, where it all started. I don't know. New coach there, maybe it'll work out. But I mean,
it's funny how the turntables have turned, right?
He says, "I want to go somewhere I can be developed. Let's go to a place with all that drama." Like, no, I mean, I'm okay. I don't want him at Notre Dame.
No. What I'm saying is like Notre Dame fans and Oregon fans all wanted him and stuff like that, and he did us dirty, each of us dirty, and then it's like, oh, well, I want to leave UCLA, maybe Notre Dame. Oh no, we don't want you. Well, maybe Oregon. We don't want you either. Well, I'm going to go to Michigan State.
We want you. We need you.
Yeah.
I mean, because Riley Leonard, I mean, people are super ecstatic about him.
Dude, that guy, there's a guy on Twitter who's a big Notre Dame fan. He did that. It's so odd. He called Sam Hartman to Notre Dame months before the season even ended last year. And he had like a profile picture of like Sam Hartman, but like he colored over it with like the Google Paint.
Yeah.
And it was like him and he did the same thing for Riley Leonard. He called it Munsick.
Hey, I mean, kudos to him. I mean, I'll be honest though, like something I want to talk about is how many transfers do you think we lose total? And how many transfers do you think we bring in? Because obviously people are going to have to leave for us to bring in a full 23, 24 freshman recruiting class. Right. So.
Tommy Reese to Northwestern.
I thought they just extended. They just extended the interim coach.
Yeah, well, I saw rumors him going to take the Indiana job because they fired Tom Allen.
Yeah. But how many do you think? I mean, and Northwestern did extend their coach for making them bowl eligible. So what do you sit down, Charlie? What do you think? How many teams do you think we get in?
In what? Or how many players we lose?
Yeah. Like how many players do we lose?
How many have we lost already? Like 10?
7 or 8?
Probably lose about 7 more, I'd assume.
So 14 players total.
And then we'll get in like 7 to 9, I'd assume. Well, because is Spencer Schrader have more eligibility?
He's done.
What about our punter, Krim? Is he done?
He'll be back.
I didn't know if he had any eligibility left. Yeah, we're going to need a kicker. Who's going to be our kicker? Bryce McPherson?
I mean, we'll get a kicker, but who cares?
Yeah, I do.
You can give me a kicker from Harvard for all I care. Like,
you're going to say that until we're playing Texas A&M on the road and we need a 36-yard field goal to win, and he botches it.
I mean,
and you're going to be like, man, I wish I got a freaking kicker.
But right now, I'm more worried about our wide receiver room.
No, kicker's a big thing, man. I'll argue that till the day I die.
Look at this. Do you want a kicker or a wide receiver?
Wide receiver.
Wide receiver. There you go. He even said it. All right. There we go. Yeah, dog's attached to me because my wife's at a work dinner. So he's like, why is only you here? But yeah, I mean, I think that we'll get a few transfers in. I think we get an offensive tackle. I hope Blake Fisher doesn't leave. I think it would be idiotic for him to leave. I've said that, yes, you'll be a second, third round, fourth round pick, and you'll get to probably play and start. But wouldn't you rather show NFL scouts you can play left tackle instead of right tackle and improve your draft stock to get more money right away? I mean, I think it makes sense. But I guess some players don't have common sense.
Charles Jagas.
Some players don't have common sense, and they're more worried. Not saying Blake Fisher doesn't, but saying that some players don't have common sense, and they're worried more about the wrong.
It's Charles Jagas all season. It's Gerby Lambert season.
Emil Wagner
season.
I
think our O-line's fine.
And experience. You don't want to go at Texas A&M on the road with a freshman left.
We did it with with 2 freshman tackles in 2021. We won at Florida State.
Who was our 2 freshman tackles?
Blake Fisher and then Joe Alt.
Joe Alt did not start.
He played when Blake Fisher got injured in that game.
No, Blake Fisher played, got hurt, and then they had Tosh Baker start at left tackle, and then he got hurt, and then Alt came in.
So Alt was the third guy?
Yes.
I thought he was like the next guy off the bench.
No, he was not the next guy because I remember being pissed that fucking Tosh Baker was booty cheeks. Or I think it was Michael Carmody.
Michael Carmody, yeah.
Yeah, it was Baker or Michael Carmody. Whatever.
Dude, anybody with the last name Carmody.
Yeah.
Don't go to Notre Dame. It's
I don't know, but I mean, we're gonna be in. Are we a 12-team playoff team with Riley Leonard? But it's like we'll have good running backs and no good receivers, and inexperienced O-line, and a good defense. Like I don't know, man.
We'll need that to win a playoff game. We'll need that defense to win or to get like 3 turnovers.
Hey, imagine a playoff game in the snow.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting on these updates. I'm hoping to see a big. I'm not hoping, actually. I don't want to see anything.
I know everybody's happy that. Hayes Fawcett just posted one.
Who did?
Hayes Fawcett.
He just tweeted a UTSA wide receiver.
No, TCU.
Yep, I saw that.
Russell was ranked as a top 5 receiver.
No thank you to TCU wide receivers. Quentin Johnson.
Well, he was a top 5 receiver
I like
in the
it.
23 class. Cordell Russell.
And then you have Jahan Dotson, who was ass too in the NFL. So I don't want to TCU wide receiver. Give me a Ben Skoranek 2.0.
What's with all these 23 recruits leaving?
What do you mean?
Like all these 23 guys are leaving.
Because kids nowadays expect to start right away. It's just how it is. They expect to play more. They're redshirted and they're pissed. What's the point of redshirting anymore if they're going to transfer?
Yeah, I don't get that. Like, why commit to a school to be there for a year?
I will say this on NIL. I love it. I like the transfer portal, but I think the NIL kind of ruins it in a sense. It doesn't happen much, but I hate the come to my school, I'll give you $1 million. That's not how NIL should work. It's name, image, likeness. It should be you come to our school, you earn it. Like Jaden Daniels, Sam Hartman, sign a deal with Beats, do commercials, make your own clothing brand, sign autographs,
Dude, Cam Ward's
sign jerseys.
Cam Ward's getting paid, offered $1 million just to enter the portal.
Exactly. So it's like, I get it. Like, I mean, it's just stupid. Like, earn your money. Go do it. Don't be getting everything given to you. Like, earn it by doing Beats commercials, signing autographs, sell a clothing brand, do what people are doing, make music. I don't know, whatever you like. Like, it shouldn't be like, here's $1 million, come to my school. It should be you use it right to earn it. But people are like, oh, they should get paid, like this and that. I think that's stupid. Especially when they're getting a free education. And I mean, that's not me disagreeing that, hey, there's a lot of people that wish to have that. A lot of people that would have debt for the rest of their life because of that. So, like, yes, the NCAA makes, and schools make billions, millions off of them, right? But let's not act like they're not making good money now with NIL. I don't think they should get paid just to go to a school. I think they should use the resources, develop those life skills, go make commercials, go sell your clothing brand, sign autographs if you're a big player. That's how you earn your money.
No, I agree. In that Cam Ward situation, it's so, like, I saw someone, and this is, obviously a Michigan fan, but they're like, how can any college football team take the NCAA seriously when they're more worried about Jim Harbaugh giving a recruit a $5 cheeseburger? But when they see that it's blatantly, like, teams are blatantly giving out $1 to $2 million for these players to just enter the portal, not come to their school, just to enter the portal. And they're just like, it's fine. It's completely fine. Like, it's definitely legal. We're not going to do anything. Like, cool. Like, the NCAA's got to do something.
You hear these freshmen that are going to these colleges that are offered $1 million, and then guess what? They don't get it. I heard Dante Moore didn't get shit of his money because there was a certain amount of games played. And obviously, if you don't want to pay him, you just don't play him, right? So, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't like it. A part of me, do I like the transfer portal? Yes and no. I like it, but I also don't because it's changing how players are being developed and they just want to play nowadays. And
Notre Dame's eventually going to be in that business because Pete Bavacqua, our new AD, is very pro NIL and not the way that we think.
Good, but it's only going to be grad transfers, which is fine. But I don't know. We'll see how it is, what happens, etc.
Yeah, I do think Notre Dame has the money to be like, I've seen people like Bama, like I was getting an argument with a Bama fan and a Florida and Georgia fan, and they're like, Notre Dame just will never win a national title because they don't have the money to pay for play like we do.
We have arguably the same, if not Georgia, Alabama probably has more, but Florida, etc. We probably have more. We make more off the TV deal alone with NBC. We make money.
To say we don't
If
have
you
the
don't think we
money.
don't make money, try going to the Notre Dame bookstore. Shit, all their shit's overpriced by $30, $40, $50. But
It's like, oh, we have the money. Notre Dame historically has just been a cheap ass. That's what it's
they just
like.
want to keep the money.
They want to keep their money. They're like that old person that, like, as getting close to death, has all this money but never spent a dime of it. And it's like, yeah, well, I want to keep my money.
Use it.
Oh man, no, like I do like that Pete seems like a guy that's gonna use that money.
Pete, our new
AD.
director.
He is also very pro Notre Dame to the Big Ten, which I don't know how I feel about that.
I mean, it's going to be interesting for sure. Man, I don't know.
I just don't like that. Like, if we want to join the Big Ten, whatever. But I don't like that the Big Ten is going to make us make less money than Rutgers in our first couple of years if we were to join because of their laws. Notre Dame making less money than Rutgers in a TV deal? That's BS.
Notre Dame's Notre Dame. We'll see what happens with these. If we.
Are you getting the Riley Leonard jersey?
No.
If he comes.
No.
I regret
if he
getting
wins the
my Sam
national
Hartman
championship,
jersey.
yes. Better yet, if he wins a New Year's Six Bowl, I'll get one.
No, I was like, I don't know what to do.
I'm
now
not
with my
going to
Hartman
get a
jersey.
quarterback jersey at Notre Dame until we win a New Year's Six Bowl.
Ooh. Okay, I was thinking about getting a CJ Carr jersey, but
not until he wins me a New Year's Six Bowl, because he ain't going to be a Tommy Reese 2.0.
You bought a Tommy Reese jersey?
I bought an Everett Golson jersey. Just kidding. I loved Everett Golson.
Well, you went to a national title.
Yeah, they counted for me. So, I mean, and a Monte Teo jersey. So, Monte Teo is still my favorite player ever. But,
I don't know what to do now. I got that Hartman jersey. I'm like, man.
Oh, you don't like it anymore?
It's just sitting there.
Does it say Hartman on the back?
Yes. And it's like, oh, man, I can't wear that next year.
I mean, you could get it signed.
Yeah. Yeah, I could.
I mean, well, it's going to be interesting how, like, Riley Leonard plays. Like, I think he could win us a playoff game at home. The New Year's Six Bowls are all playoff games next year. We have to win a home playoff game and win a New Year's Six Bowl to get one now. We'd have to win 2 to get one. So.
What number does Riley Leonard wear? The 10 or 13? No, it's 13.
He ain't going to wear 10 or – if I see another 10 or 12 at Notre Dame, give me a different number, please.
Well, how's that going to work? Because CJ Carr is 13.
He'll wear 8. I don't wear 2, 3.
Well, I guess how does that work at Notre Dame? Like, because I know certain things. It's like, oh, seniority gets their numbers first, but like,
I mean, technically, CJ Carr would be seniority because he's been committed longer. I don't know. I don't make the rules.
I mean, whoever here's a bag. One has number 13 jersey. The other one has number 10. Whoever gets the, we'll see Riley Leonard wearing 10 again.
I swear, I don't want to see another 10. Drew Pine gave me nightmares with that. So
I feel like you should only be able to wear the 10 jersey if you won Notre Dame a national title.
Hartman could wear it. And I like the reason that he wore it for his brother and for he's good. I still think Hartman's good. So we should
like Brady Quinn, I feel like Brady Quinn's number should be retired.
Lay down, Charlie.
I mean, I don't know how Notre Dame doesn't typically retire numbers, but
don't retire number 10. I think Monte Teo's number should be retired.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Although I do like Cam Hart in that number 5 jersey. That is pretty sick.
Give him a 5 3/4 jersey, and it'll be just fine.
5 3/4, yeah.
What do you? I mean, is there anything you want to add here before the end of the episode?
No, I think. I mean, I don't, unless you do.
Oh, never mind. Nope.
What?
What is going on here? Let's see.
Yeah.
I saw a dumb post about Drake May.
I think Dane Christ's jersey should be retired.
Well, I think you're wrong. That's a throwback. I think if I want to pick, you know what? Let's retire Ron Pallas Jr.
Yeah. No. Let's retire Jordan Johnson's number. There we go.
Let's retire Clarence Lewis, right? For that game. No, let's retire DJ Brown for dropping that monumental interception in the Ohio State game.
For giving Ohio State a free stimulus package to winning that game.
Frustrating.
I was telling my buddies, I'm like, well, you know what the difference between when Notre Dame played Ohio State and Michigan played Ohio State?
What?
There are 3 big differences. The first one is Michigan stuck with running down their throat to chew the clock. Notre Dame didn't. We decided to throw. Secondly, Michigan caught the game-sealing INT. Notre Dame didn't. The third thing is Michigan played the entire game with 11 players on the field. Notre Dame didn't.
Sounds like a recipe for winning.
Yeah.
I want it to be known that Ryan was like, that's incomplete. Michigan didn't catch it. And I was like, oh, he caught it. And he was like, oh, he caught it.
That was an interception.
Yeah. Sometimes Ryan is blinded by his fandom.
I just hate Michigan.
You'd ask him who the best wide receiver in college football is, and he would say,
No. The best receiver would be Jordan Faison.
Oh, my God.
A guy who plays lacrosse.
That's going to be I guarantee you if he goes to the NFL, he played lacrosse.
What if he goes out and wins a national championship for Notre Dame football and lacrosse? Wouldn't that be crazy?
I would tattoo.
You tattoo Jordan Faison's face on your shoulder.
No, not his face.
Oh.
But man, I don't know how to feel. It's been a crazy week for Notre Dame. Good news with Riley Leonard, where we're all so happy, and then bad news with this.
It's like a roller coaster every day.
But like I said, you got to understand it happens everywhere. Oregon's losing people, Washington's losing people, Georgia's losing people, Ohio State was losing people, North Carolina's is losing people.
Colorado lost 3 elite recruits in 24 hours.
One from Warner Robins, Georgia, where I'm at, but. I mean, we'll see. I feel like it does feel like we're kind of losing a lot more than most, but I don't know, man. I'm nervous about the wide receiver room next year a lot. This year it was thin, but it was more talented than last year, and it still struggled. It seems like it's going to be the same next year, thin. I don't want a thin wide receiver group. I can't hear you at all.
Retire Ian Book's number. I mean, he is the winningest quarterback in Notre Dame history.
Okay.
Hey,
you know what? Let's build a statue of Brian Kelly while we're at it.
Yeah, no.
But he's the winningest coach in Notre Dame history. I am and forever grateful for Brian Kelly.
I'm not.
He brought us back, whether people like it or want to admit it or not. However, he's an asshole. But I love Marcus Freeman, and I'm nervous.
I will say this. After Logan Diggs said what he said about Notre Dame, I don't know what happened, but I think he's just salty that he lost his job to Audric. I hope when we play you guys in whatever it is, the Pop-Tarts Bowl or the ReliaQuest Bowl, I hope you get 20 to 30 carries against Notre Dame, so we can absolutely show you why you lost your starting job.
I mean, you know why. He's going to have to play in the bowl game for his draft stock, but Audric Estime is probably going to sit out.
Sit out.
You're mad that you lost your job to the freak of nature? The Audric Estime. Like,
yeah, and then every time he gets tackled for loss, I'm going to tweet, "Oh, but Notre Dame played you."
I hope. I'm really excited for the LSU game.
I really hope. I will be so mad if we lose to them.
We've won 2 times in a row. We're BK, have it your way, but I mean,
BK, have it your way.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I think we could win that game because their defense is so bad. If Audric Estime plays.
Yep. All right, Sean. Well, we went over than we usually do, but had a lot to unpack there. Anyways, guys, thank you guys for tuning in. This has been another episode of The Gold Standard with your host, Ryan Ferfel, co-host Sean at Indy Forever on Twitter. Go drop us a follow on the Twitter, now X. Well, we're going to call it Twitter. But anyway, guys, we will be back next week. Sure, there will be more transfer portal news. But as always, guys, stay safe and go Irish.
Go